Hi everyone, so today we have an analysis of New Jersey's 7th Congressional District, the 11th Congressional District in New Jersey, Nevada's 3rd Congressional District, New York's 19th Congressional District, and New York's 22nd Congressional District. Now, this is very, very interesting. All these races pretty close. Probably one of the more competitive races, if you will, probably the 11th Congressional District, maybe 19th or 22nd in New York. But we're going to start off with the 7th Congressional District in the state of New Jersey. So this is one to watch. We have the Democrat Tom Malinowski and the Republican Leod Lance. I believe he is the incumbent, Leod Lance. The Democrat is challenging him, and he's performed pretty well in the polling data. I will pretty much ignore this poll done because it was done back in June, and it was done for the Democrat there, the Malinowski campaign. But so we'll be taking into account this Monmouth poll, which is generally pretty reliable. 46% for Malinowski and 43% for Lance, 414 sample size, but it's a pretty big margin of error, quite a large margin of error, 7.2%, not the best poll, but 11% of undecided voters. And so taking into account the polling data, you would see this is a toss-up race because of how much undecided voters there are and how big the margin of error is. But if you look at the fundraising, Democrat has been exceeding in fundraising by a lot. Both these candidates do take corporate PAC money. Very interesting race. If we go down to the New York Times poll, the Republican actually has a lead. So, I mean, it could go either way. It's going to be very, 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 very close. It's going to be really close once again in the New Jersey 7th Congressional District, but at the end of the day, I'm putting this district into the tilt Democratic column. If we can move that into the tilt Democratic column. Next, we're looking at the 11th District, where we have Rodney Friedlander, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. He's been in Congress since 1995, and he is a Republican incumbent, and it is currently leaning Democratic, so that is very, very impressive. The Democrat is ahead in the only poll done, Mikey Sherrill versus the Jay Weber. He's not an incumbent, but I believe that this race, especially considering, look at this fundraising, $4 million flooding into the Sherrill campaign, and just $574,000 for Mike Pence. Not for Mike Pence. I'm reading that tweet actually. For the Republican Jay Weber. Mike Pence made a stump for Jay Weber. So that could have some implications, but at the end of the day, I still believe that the New Jersey 11th Congressional District is going into the leaning Democratic column. We can put that in my, this is not working, so, and with that, we actually have some breaking news. With that call out of New Jersey's 11th Congressional District, I can now project that the Democrats, they will take control of the United States Senate. Nancy Pelosi may or may not become the next Speaker of the House, depending on what the Democrats decide, but there will be no Republican for sure as the Speaker of the House, based on my predictions with that 11th Congressional District call. In Nevada, we have the 3rd Congressional District. We have Jackie Rosen, who's actually resigned to try and run for the US Senate race there. We unfortunately don't have any polling data. We have the Democrat who got much more votes than the Republican in the primary there. There's no incumbent, so that's looking really positive, especially considering the fundraising numbers. Definitely great for the Democrats, even though it is R+2. I do believe that with this wave of Democratic voters that we're seeing, look at the generic ballot, 40.5% to 49.3%. Very, very, very interesting there. We also have Trump's approval rating, not necessarily the best. He was at a bit of a higher point, 42, 41, but now he is at 40%, and that is actually from a Rasmussen poll that's tilting the balance, so I would probably put it even less than that. Even though Nancy Pelosi's approval rating is underwater, 29% favorable, 53% unfavorable, she's underwater by 24%. I still believe that the Democrats, they will retain this seat in the likely Democratic column in the 3rd Congressional District. I'm putting that one in the likely Democratic column. Next, we have the 19th Congressional District of New York. We have John Fasow. He is the incumbent. And then we have Antonio Delgado. I don't know how you say that name. He is a progressive. He has established universal health care and many more. He's been fundraising just a bit better than the other candidate there in the race. The Democratic Party doing much better than the Republican Party. I don't believe we have any polling data, unfortunately. It's very, very interesting. Sorry about that. And yes, so an interesting race here. It is rated as a toss-up. It is R+2. I think the 19th Congressional District in the state of New York, if I can find it, here we go, will come right down to the wire, I believe. It will be extremely close. However, at the end of the day, with Democratic performance in special elections and the fact that having a progressive there definitely would help. If I can try and find the 19th Congressional District, I believe this will narrowly go into the tilt Democratic column. There we go, and we will also look at the 22nd and 24th Congressional District. We actually won't look at the 24th, we'll look at the 22nd. The polling here has been pretty positive for the Democrats, not the best being up by 2 points, but definitely better than being underwater by 2 points. It is ranked as a toss-up. The Democrat and the Republican have both been fundraising pretty well. So I do believe that it will be very, very close. However, one thing to consider, it is Republican +6. And that's not great news for the Democrats, even though the polling shows that it's kind of positive for the Democrats. I believe that the Republican will narrowly, ever so narrowly, hold on, especially considering Trump won by 16%. I believe that this race in the 22nd Congressional District will go into the tilt Republican column. Now, one more race that we'll be looking at tomorrow. We'll be looking at the 24th Congressional District in the state of New York. We'll also look at Ohio 1st Congressional District, Ohio 12th Congressional District. That will be very interesting to watch. Remember, the Troy Balderson, Danny O'Connor, all of that. We'll also look at the congressional races in Texas 7 and 23, and then in 2 days from now we'll finish it off with Virginia competitive races, a competitive race in the state of Washington, and Paul Ryan's seat. So tomorrow these are the races that we'll be looking at, and then the day after that we'll be looking at these races. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one.